what's up guys? This is Josh Yi for King Yo Star, and this is a tutorial for Kenji Ito's region. Kenji Ito is one of the very original pioneers of the Offstring style of play. He's a player who truly created a lot of the most unique regenerations, a lot of the groundwork for a lot of the 4-8 combos we have today, and even though he's not necessarily one of the highest placing players of this day, still a lot of his concepts are mind-boggling to even the most modern 4A players, and a lot of his regeneration concepts are things that still, to this day, a lot of players actually cannot successfully do. So with that said, this is probably one of his more, I'd say, I don't want to say easier, but one of his, maybe a little bit easier to execute tricks that I figured out. And more than a trick, I'd say it's kind of just a way to restart a yo-yo if you find yourself in a predicament where your yo-yo is stopped. Maybe you had to switch yo-yos during a freestyle, or maybe you're just replacing a string and whatnot. You just want to wind up your yo-yo quickly. This is a good way to do it, and it's a little different than the standard thumb start that a lot of 4A players today do, which is that. So to do this trick, you're going to need dead yo-yo, open string, and still, despite the fact that it is not the standard thumb start, you're still going to want to be able to actually do a pretty good snap star in your thumb. So what I would do first is be able to practice just getting a decent spin out of just a thumb start and such. And the stronger spin you get from the get-go, the better to accomplish this trick. The next step you're going to want to do is be able to actually bind the yo-yo on top of both strings. Now, essentially, think about it as 1A. You're going to be doing a bind that is in spin. So in 1A you have a reverse spin bind where you're going to do an undermount, then you bind the yo-yo. Or you can do an in spin bind where you're maybe in a trapeze and then you wrap the string around itself when it comes back. Think of this as an in spin bind where this whole length of string would be as 1A, and you're essentially going to bind the yo-yo as if it was a trapeze. The next step is to be able to regenerate the yo-yo over the top of your hand and out. So here's what's going to happen. And it has to be done quickly, so I'll be doing some slow-mo so you can kind of see what's going on a little bit in more detail. But for the sake of this video, first I'll just show you how this looks completed. You're doing a thumb start, trapeze, bind, and you're throwing the yo-yo forward, almost like doing a hop the fence to the outside, and it comes down, and now you have a fully spinning, regenerated yo-yo. Now, keep in mind the yo-yo is now in a forward rotational spin, which is opposite of what most 4A players like to do, unless they're going to be doing some changing of direction in their play. So, what you're going to want to do after that is bind the yo-yo and regenerate it as a loop and catch it as if it was spinning normally. So, again, dead yo-yo, thumb start, as hard as you can, inward, outward regeneration to the outside, and no more regeneration as a loop to catch. Keep in mind that due to some of the different gap sizes of different offstring yo-yos, this trick may or may not work with the yo-yo you're using. I'm using a Silverback King, and actually the one I have set up now has yo-yo jam shims installed. So the gap is a little bit wider than some other offstring yo-yos. In my experience, I found that some of the thinner gap yo-yos, they can't exactly do this bind as well. There's a higher chance for the yo-yo to actually snag, especially when you're doing that outward regeneration. So what I would do is just see if your yo-yo can just handle being on the string as such, and if you feel that it starts to snag and want to come back, then maybe your yo-yo might be a little bit too skinny to be able to handle this trick. Obviously, if you're using something that has an adjustable gap, I believe the Re-Extremes and some of the yo-yo jam yo-yos have that, then you can loosen it up a bit. But if it's kind of a very fixed yo-yo, then maybe this trick might not necessarily work, and the thumb start would be your better bet if you want to just catch your yo-yo and rethrow again. But if you find your yo-yo is a little bit wider gap like this one, then yeah, go for it. Obviously this does take a little practice to get, but compared to a lot of other offstring yo-yo tricks, there's a lot of there's a lot less chance of it actually going wrong because the yo-yo is never really leaving any string necessarily, and really the only part you got to worry about is just the yo-yo snagging, and then of course catching the yo-yo after the loop regeneration once you have it. So that's the trick, and I hope you guys have good luck learning this trick. Practice it often, and as I said before about the advice about the yo-yo, just check your gap size, see what width the gap of the inside of your yo-yo has. Maybe you can handle this trick, or maybe you can't. And again, the yo-yo I'm using is a Monkeyfinger x King Yo Star Silverback King with yo-yo jam shims installed. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And again, this is Josh for King Yo Star, and I will see you guys later. Good luck.